Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Michael Unbroken here, author, speaker, coach, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma, and you are listening to the Michael Unbroken podcast. As usual, before I get started here, I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for listening or watching if you're over on the YouTubes. I appreciate you so much. As this podcast grows, as we have more listens, more downloads, more views, more reviews, I want you to know how thankful and grateful I am for you for showing up and being a part of this community. I'm going to ask you, again, please leave a review, comment, like, subscribe. Just pause this right now and do that for me, because this mission of healing childhood trauma and ending generational trauma is about so much more than me. And what I want is I think about this a lot. What I want is to end this, but I recognize that I can't do it alone. The impact of change required needs all of us and needs every single person. So if you're listening or watching, know that I thank you tremendously. I do appreciate you, but please do me a favor and leave a review, share it, comment, like, because these algorithms, the way that they work, they want to know who's listening and watching. And the podcast is well over 35,000, almost 40,000 listens now, which is amazing. I'm super grateful for that. But I need your help to get to 400,000 and then to 4 million and so forth. Because the truth about this, the reason I do this, the reason why I started the podcast to begin with was so that we could have a conversation about what I consider to be the elephant in the room of mental health care, not only in America, but in society, because we have all of these people in the world suffering right now because of their past. You know, I read a review earlier today that said the Michael Unbroken podcast is an integral part of their healing journey. And that is so meaningful to me. I'm so thankful and gracious for that, and honored and humbled, because to be honest with you, and you guys know this, I've shared this before, I did not sign up for this job. I did not sit down one day and say, you know what, it'd be great. I'm going to talk about getting my ass kicked when I was a little kid, right? That was never part of it, but I feel not only drawn, but unbelievably compelled and inspired to have these conversations, because to tell you the truth, I don't know what else to do. You know, I think every single day as human beings, we have the ability to share our stories and speak our truth into reality. And the more that we do that, the more impact that we can make. And many of you know that I've been writing books. I wrote a couple of books. I've spoken on a whole bunch of stages. I got the podcast, the whole nine, but maybe I've never done a good job of being clear about why I do this. I do this for my brothers and for my sister, and for my brothers and my sisters. And what I mean by that is this isn't about me, because to be honest with you, the longer that I do this, the more that I think about the fact that Think Unbroken is actually so much bigger than Michael. And there may be a day I step away from this. Now, that day is nowhere close. I'll assure you I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And the reason I may step away from this is because it's going to be more than I can handle as one human being and a man. And I do have a team, and there are people that work for Think Unbroken, and it's amazing that I've been able to do that through coaching and through small group coaching and through the Hill Trauma Coach course and the whole nine. But one of these days I'm going to walk away, or I'm going to die. I share this with you all the time. On a long enough timeline, I'm going to die. That's the reality. I wish it weren't the truth. I'd love to live forever, because then I could really make like a gigantic impact, but I can still do that here today now with you. And I was thinking about the impact of our words and why they matter so much, why the things, and you've heard me talk about mindset plus action equals self-actualization, but I got some clarity this weekend, and I want to simplify that, because somebody actually messaged me and they said, I don't understand what that means. I'll put it like this. What you think becomes what you speak, and what you speak becomes your actions, and your actions become your reality. And this applies across the board to everything. This is why I say we are the stories that we tell ourselves. And so if you're telling yourself one story or the other, then eventually on a long enough timeline, that story will in fact become your reality.
We'll be right back to today's show, but first I need to ask you a question. Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling like you don't have the support to go to the next level in your healing journey? Are you feeling like you wish you had a little bit more support from not only myself, but the Unbroken Nation? Well, my friend, I want to invite you to come and join our live weekly coaching sessions in Think Unbroken. All you have to do is go to Keys, Keys, keys.thinkunbroken.com to sign up and join us today with 100% money back, no questions asked, guaranteed, and no contract or commitment. Every week for the next year, you can come and be a part of our live coaching sessions each Monday as we dive deep into not only answering your questions, but questions from the Unbroken Nation, and help you take all of the information that you learn in the podcast, in the courses, and other areas of this journey, bring them into your life and use it in a way that is practical, life-changing, and transformative. So my friend, join us at keys.thinkunbroken.com, and we will see you this Monday.
And so this weekend I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I'm having a conversation with, and honestly, probably the most amazing group of people I've ever been in connection with, about the reason why we do what we do. We're sitting at this table and having dinner. We're talking about why we dare step on stage, why we dare share these stories, why we dare move into the reality that, when we do this, that there may be judgments, that there may be people who look at us and say, you're crazy, that we often might have to go at that alone. And the reason that we do it is because our mission is bigger than us. And that's why it's Think Unbroken, the brand, the overarching company, everything funnels through that first. And I'm just, I'm a passenger, I'm a catalyst in this. And my journey through healing my own trauma is very much about understanding that mindset is everything. And you've heard me say that before, but there's layers to this. And as one man, and as this company grows, these layers will grow, they will change, there will be more. This is why I released the Heal Trauma Coach app, because I want to be there to be able to help be the catalyst for your healing. And when I created that program, I recognized what it was that I was really missing when I was going through my healing journey, and that was connection, community, and commitment. And when I identified those things early on, I went and I sought them and I built them out. Connection is about the relationship that we have not only with each other, but with ourselves. Like, can we connect? Can we get in alignment? Can we be within the presence and the sphere and scope of those around us who want us to succeed, to be successful, to heal, to grow, to change, to love? And if you can, then connection's this really beautiful, powerful, and abundant tool that can take you into places of expanse that you can't even understand. I'm experiencing this in my life right now. And that connection comes from being around like-minded people who are driven with purpose, with conviction, with clarity, with trust and hope and honesty, and all the things that I think make us great as people. And finding that connection and bond again and again and again reiterates the fact that I have felt and do feel that I'm on the right pace in my life by moving towards growing Think Unbroken and talking about childhood trauma and overcoming it, because there's so many fucking people who have been impacted by this who are terrified of a voice. And so for a brief moment, if I can be in connection with people who help me be able to be that voice, then I want to honor that and I want to support that, and vice versa. And then there's community. And community is so much deeper than connection, because community is about, a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And community is about being so deeply connected to each other's journey that you're willing to sacrifice for the people around you. And as many of you know, I've been an entrepreneur and business owner and board director and vice president of multiple companies and the whole nine for a very, very long time. And what was always missing in those journeys was that really tight-knit community aspect and energy, where you're like, I just need and want and crave to be a part of this thing that is bigger than me. And when I created the coaching program, the 6-week in-depth course, I added a layer of community to it because it is what I needed also in my trauma healing journey. That's why I did men's group therapy. That's why I did other group modalities. That's why I went and did these courses and workshops, and why I did conferences and these one-day intensives and the whole nine, right? Because I wanted and I was seeking community at a deeper level. And it was one of the most profound parts of my healing journey, because without community, what is the opposite? You're alone, you're by yourself. And I've said it before, no one great has ever done anything on their own alone, because you just can't. You have to have support. You can't do all the things. And we sit, and I think community, to be just very blunt with you, community starts in the moment that you understand that the only way that you overcome is by first asking for assistance. And that's a really hard pill for people to swallow. That's a very fucking hard pill for me to swallow in the beginning of this, because it was growing up of the you will figure it out, you're better off on your own, people will judge you mentality. But now, decade removed from the beginning of this journey and heading into the latter part of my 30s, like, I think about this often. Community is everything. If you don't have community, I'm going to break it to you right now, you're not going to be successful in life. And you may be thinking, well, I don't have community. How do I find community? You have to go and seek it. You have to go and create it. You have to go and build it. You have to go and put yourself in the rooms and around the people. You have to put yourself in a position to be close. You have to do all of those things, because without those things, you will not have it. And no one's going to hand it to you. You're not going to get magicked into community connection, and you're definitely not going to get Disneyed into commitment. And so the last C of this is commitment. You have to be doggedly, for lack of a better term, focused and simultaneously driven into creating change in your life, while understanding as well and additionally that you are the only one who is going to create that change. And committing isn't only about this idea of showing up, but it's about seeing it through, going through hell. Like, it's like Churchill says, right? If you're going through hell, keep going. And I view this trauma healing journey as like, it's going through hell. It's stepping through the darkest caverns and holes and depths of not only the human psyche, but the emotional state that we've been brought up on to look at and go, okay, maybe this isn't where I want to be. And the further and deeper that you go down into the rabbit hole of understanding and defining who you are, the further that you understand the amount of commitment required to move through and navigate it, because without commitment, you won't see it through to the other side, right? People always, I've referenced this before, people start these journeys of diet, fitness, health, lifestyle, and they don't see it through. Even they'll have a why. They'll be like, this is my why. But they don't have the commitment that it takes to do it, because it's arduous at times. And in fact, I'll argue healing trauma is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Why? Because at the backside of all the effort, there's still always one more step.
Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? We'll be right back to today's episode, but I want to take a moment and invite you to Think Unbroken Conference. That's right. Our next conference is happening right around the corner this December, with amazing speakers from around the world who are leaders in personal development, trauma education, mindset, and more. All you have to do to register to watch for free, that's right, $0, come and join us, is go to myunbrokenlife.com, register and sign up. You can get access to the free event. Watch it live with us this December. It'll be myself speaking, along with amazing human beings like Anthony Trucks, Jamie Bronstein, Leslie Logan, and a special interview that I'm doing with Dr. Gabor Mate that has never before been released. So come and join us, myunbrokenlife.com. All you have to do is put in your email. We'll send you over the registration. You'll be able to come and join us, watch live. And then if you want access to the recordings or more information there for you to keep them forever. But in the meantime, go sign up. Block it off on your calendar. This is going to be a transformational experience that you do not want to miss. Head over to myunbrokenlife.com to register for free. Until next time, be unbroken.
there's always one more thing to do. There's always one more conversation to have, one more action to take, one more conversation to be involved in. And I've said this before, I don't think it ends. I don't think the trauma healing journey ends. That's why I have coaches, and why I have a therapist, and why I read the books, and why I go to the conferences, and why I still do all these things all these years later, investing all of my effort, time, money, energy, and self into it, not only so I can be a better servant leader, which is what I certainly consider myself to be, but also so that I can look in the mirror and be okay with the reflection on the other side. Knowing that I go all in. And again, I make mistakes. I fuck up all the time. It's the nature of being a human being. It's the nature of life. But you have to understand one thing unequivocally. The only way you move through and create the life that you want to have is what I always say. Change only happens when you make change happen. Thus, you must create action. And the hardest actions involve the most stringent amount of commitment because it's going to take time. I was on a stage Friday night, probably arguably the biggest stage I've ever spoken on. And that stage was full of these amazing and beautiful speakers who I got to sit back in the green room with and witness witness realizing their truth. The whole idea, this concept about what you think becomes what you speak becomes your action becomes your reality. I watched it play out 10 times that night. Now, I was one of the 10, and in the moment, I'm kind of in the matrix, to be honest with you, because I'm so zeroed in, and I won second place. And as I don't think there was any loser that night. And I'm super competitive. Everyone who knows me knows I'm fucking competitive. You don't want to play me at Monopoly. It's going to be awful for everybody involved, mainly the people that I'm playing against, because I'm that committed to winning. And being on that stage and sharing that moment, this beautiful moment, I recognized, wow, this is what life is capable of being. Because you may be knowing me for the first time in this episode, or you may have known me for 3 years, but you didn't know me when I was in the struggle. You didn't know me in the midst of going and being in rooms of where 2 people would show up to my workshop, where 6 people would show up, where nobody would show up, right? And then it kind of grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, because that's what happens when you stay committed. But I'm winning second place on Friday night at this speak off was an investment of a decade of my life. And it's not about the winning or losing. Again, I don't think in this scenario, and that hits home really hard for me, because I gathered and garnered this incredible community in the course of this weekend, but it was more so about knowing in my heart that I was showing up as Michael, authentically, unequivocally, unquestionably, and undeniably. Because if you're not willing to be that person for yourself, you can't be that person for other people. And I said this before, I don't want to be the spokesperson for child abuse, but I do believe that it is my moral obligation. And the only way to step into my full authenticity is to honor that. And through honoring that, I self-actualize and become this person that I know I'm capable of being. And that's despite fear. I had an amazing conversation about fear with multiple people this weekend. And fear is this thing that's always going to be in your fucking way until you take an action. You're scared, terrified of the other side. That's because you don't know what's going to happen. But I can tell you this. If you have community, connection, and commitment, fear is only a 4-letter word. And we make meaning, we add meaning to everything that happens in our lives. And I had an amazing conversation with someone who reminded me of that. Look, I think at the end of the day, what you have to understand about the journey that you're on is you're only alone if you choose to be. That doesn't mean anyone's going to hand you the roadmap. There are always going to be tools. There's always going to be something there for you to take and carry with you. That's why I created HealTraumaCoach.com. because I want to be able to be there and support you and give you community, connection, and commitment. And I'm willing to do that from my side. You have to be willing to do it from your side. And that's the difference between success and failure, not only in life, but in the healing journey. You have to make up your mind. What are you willing to do to get unstuck? What are you willing to do to be the hero of your own story? What are you willing to do to think unbroken? And I remind myself of these questions daily, because that's the only way I can show up in the world. So I'm going to share something else with you. I'm going to put the speech that I did, it was only 3 minutes, but it was one of the most powerful 3 minutes of my life, on my YouTube. So there's a Michael Unbroken YouTube channel, just search Michael Unbroken. And I want you to watch it because I did this for us. I didn't do this for me. I did this for my brothers and my sister and my brothers and my sisters. And I appreciate you, my friend, and thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to our future together. I'm looking forward to all the workshops I'm putting together, all the virtual events I'm putting together. I have a challenge I'm about to announce here very shortly and soon. I have so many things in the works, and without you, I wouldn't be here, because it is because of you that I am. And I'm honored that you would listen to this. I'm honored you would commit yourself to this. I'm honored that you would show up for me, for this community, to be unbroken. And again, I will ask you, please take a moment and leave a comment, share this with a friend, subscribe, review it, let people know about this, because without our voices, and you matter in this conversation, without your voice, we cannot end generational trauma. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Have an amazing day and be unbroken. Hey, Unbroken Nation, we'll be right back to the show, but I wanted to let you know that you can grab a copy of my first book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, for free. If you go to book.thinkunbroken.com, you can download the PDF ebook version of the book and get everything that I know about the baseline of healing trauma for free, downloaded to your email right now. Just go to book.thinkunbroken.com to download your copy of Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma for a PDF for your phone. Again, that is book.thinkunbroken.com. Thank you so much for listening to Think Unbroken. Please share this episode with someone who could use it and help us move forward in our mission of ending generational trauma in our lifetime. And if you would, please take 5 seconds to pop on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5-star, leave a review, and you can also reach out to us on social at Michael Unbroken or at Think Unbroken. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel at Think Unbroken. Thank you for being a part of Unbroken Nation, my friends, and until next time, be unbroken.